Hi everybody, one of our top requested features so far has been the ability to expose public ports. It's very common to have a version of your app where you communicate with the backend and you want the backend to be able to send back data or send a request without requiring any authentication. And with public ports, you now have the ability to do that. And what we have right now is a very early preview of how this looks like. Let me show you how it works. So here I am in IDX and I have a new project created. It's actually a Node Express.js project where you have a basic web server or an API server that is sending some data back, and it's sending the data through port 3000. And I'm going to go ahead and double check that by going to my IDX panel. And I can see that if I open the backend ports area, you can see that backend ports, port 3000 is currently turned on and it's serving some data. And I can just verify this again by using the Thunder client integration we provide out of the box. So I'm just going to make a send a request and you can see hello world is currently returned. Now, if I take the URL we have right now, I'm going to go ahead and open it. You can now open this particular page. I can see hello world being printed on screen. And this URL scheme is that of the current VM that is currently powering this project, and it's on port 3000. Now, if I were to go into, let's say I'm going to pick a browser where I have not logged into IDX from, like I'm in Safari right now, let me paste the URL in. When I paste this URL, you'll get this error message that says this workstation does not exist, or your currently signed in account does not have access to it. And this is probably an error you'd have seen quite frequently if you try to access a resource or access the output of your VM or your IDX workspace in a different browser or in an unauthenticated context. So what we can do with this new feature is I'm going to bring up the panel of all the commands that I have. I'm going to type in ports, and there are two options here: get public ports, update public ports. I'm going to select the option for update public ports, and here I can enter a list of public ports, comma separated. If I have multiple ports I want to enable, but I can enter the port that I want to make public. So we know 3000 is the port that is currently being used to serve the results of my Node server. So I'm going to hit 3000 and hit enter. This will take a few moments, but then you'll see updated public ports. You'll see a message that appears for you. Now, depending on how complicated your project is, the propagation time may be instantaneous, like it was in my case, or it may take a few seconds up to a minute. We're going to work on some better user experience to make this more predictable. But now I'm going to go back to my project, and I'm going to go back to Safari, and I paste the URL in one more time. And this time, when I paste my URL in, notice that you now see hello world displayed on screen, and the results of this content are coming directly from my IDX workspace that is in a different browser that's been created in a different environment, which is very, very convenient. And before, if you didn't have this feature, you wouldn't have the ability to expose public ports, I would have had to generate an OAuth token, make sure that was passed in as part of my request, and it wouldn't be quite as straightforward as this. And this is a very simple example, but you can now take this kind of an approach and map it to any kind of project you're building. Just make sure you have the port that you care about, make sure you update it easily. And if you ever want to see what ports are currently available that you made public, I can hit get public ports, and I'll see all the public ports that are currently exposed, which right now is just 3000. If I had a more complicated project and I'm running multiple processes on different ports, I can easily be able to toggle which one's on and off. Now, this is very early preview. If you have any feedback, please post in the forums and you can share more about what you like and don't like or any bugs you're running into. And we're going to be working on better UI for all of this as well. The ability to use the command console to be able to provide the update ports is temporary. It's going to be there always, but we really want to make it easier for you to just be able to use point and click UI gestures to be able to pull this off. So stay tuned for more enhancements to this over the upcoming days and weeks. And with that, I'll see you all next time.